Namaste, and Jai Sri Krishna to all my brothers, sisters, and family members of this universe. May God bless you all and help you and heal you. May God give you all a long life, health, happiness, prosperity in all areas of your life. Jai Sri Krishna. May God bless you. Now, Vedanta, or the philosophy of the Upanishads, is lofty, sublime, and unique. Vedanta. One of our scriptures is called Vedanta, meaning the last portion or the very, very end of the Vedas, or the complete fulfillment of knowledge is called Vedanta. Upanishads mean standing near God. Up means near, Nishad means God. Again, like I explained, it's very lofty, sublime, and unique as it is said in my notes. One thing you got to realize, Upanishads are very practical. They contain a lot of wisdom, day-to-day knowledge. For example, there's a story in one of the Upanishads. I believe it is Ken Upanishads. We have 11 Upanishads. We have 4 Vedas, 6 Shastras, 11 Upanishads, 18 Puranas. Of course, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, and other texts, in which a student asked his master, like, what is the depth of knowledge in which one could attain? Like, how much knowledge is possible to attain? What the master told the student is that if you were to go to a lake with a cup of water, you will only get a cup of water. If you were to go with a bigger cup, you'll get an even bigger cup. If you were to go with a bowl, you'll get a whole bowl of water. If you were to go with a tub, you'll get a whole tub of water. If you were to go with an even bigger tub, you'll get an even bigger tub of water. But if and only if you submerge yourself in the lake, you will get the whole water. In order to do that, you must first become empty. Emptiness of mind. I mean, just like how Jesus Christ himself said it. Unless ye become like children, ye cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. We must completely empty our thoughts of any kind of preconceived notion of what knowledge is. And be completely empty. Have a beginner's mind. And then you will get the true knowledge of the Upanishads. You know, Western philosophers have paid their tribute to the ancient seers of the Upanishads. I mean, Ved Vyasji, Shaunak Rishi, Gautam Rishi, Sage Valik. I mean, these are the people who actually created the Upanishads. They have been amazed at the lofty heights scaled by them. There's a philosopher by the name of Schopenhauer. Schopenhauer studied the Upanishads and mentioned on the thoughts of the Upanishads just before going to bed. And that's how he's able to, you know, come up with deep thoughts of meditation. That's why his writings, his books, are very similar to that of the Upanishads. I believe he reads mostly Ken Upanishads, Prashan Upanishads, Mandok Upanishad, Chandog Upanishads. Those are very good. He said the Upanishads are the solace of my life, and they will be solace to me after my death also, because it is a shelter. Usually, I teach my students, my disciples, that the root of knowledge is within. The root of knowledge is within. That is exactly what the Upanishads teach. One thing you got to realize is that the Upanishads will teach you how to seek the knowledge within. That is the only difference. Now, Raj Yoga system in Hinduism is also splendid and unique. The lessons are immensely practical and highly instructive. No system of physical exercise on surface on earth can compete with Hatha Yoga or Kundalini Yoga. You know, one thing you got to realize, you know, it is a very good exercise, but bear in mind you have to have good nutritional aspect. That means following a vegetarian life, non-violence. Ahimsa paramo dharma. That is one of the very, very first slokas of the Ramayana, which was created by sage Valmiki. And then in Kali Yuga was translated by Sant Mahatma Tulsidas. Ahimsa paramo dharma. How does Raj Yoga work? How does Kriya Yoga work? How does any type of yoga works? With a vegetarian diet. A diet that is completely non-violent. No meat, no flesh, no meat, no eggs. Avoid foods and breads and certain types of pastas or some types of, product, cookies, cakes that contain eggs, you have to avoid them. Kundalini yoga is very powerful. Now, one thing you got to realize is that, there's a lot of people out there who have asked me personally and other people personally that, does Kriya Yoga burn karma? It does not. No amount of Kriya Yoga or Hatha Yoga or any kind of yoga burns karma. What does burn karma is complete meditation to God, surrendering yourself to God, surrendering your mind, your thoughts, your words, your deeds to God. That is going to burn karma. Complete repetition of God's name, doing seva, doing humanity will burn karma. I mean, again, karma comes in 4 categories, which I'm going to explain in another video. It's like some kinds of karma can burn and some types of karmas cannot burn. But you can burn karma by doing purushartha. Purushartha. Purushartha means, what can you do for the soul? What can you do to uplift your mind, your body, your spirit? And what can you do for the community? That is called purushartha. Purushartha. That will burn karma. Hence, the Americans and Europeans are in search of Hindu sannyasis and yogis. I am not a sannyasi, I am not a yogi. I have, a house life. I'm probably going to get married soon and have children. I had, a few girlfriends here and there, and I had a lot of past relationships, so I am nowhere near a yogi or sannyasi. I am just a mere Hindu priest. I am a Brahmin priest. I've studied, Hindu scriptures. I perform Hindu rituals. I do weddings. I do funerals. I do all the general rituals of the Hindu systems. I do yoga. But one thing I cannot go as deep as a yogi or a sannyasi. But what I can teach you is, the very basic fundamentals of, the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Smritis, the Shrutis, Shastras, which, by the grace of my guru, Sannyasi Harcharan Maharaj, has taught me, very diligently. They visit Himalayas frequently in quest of yoga teachers. Some are living under Hindu yogis as disciples and practicing yoga, which is very great. Their knowledge will increase. Many Eastern Europeans, Americans are even now Hindus by faith and practice, though they were born Christian. Yet they're also Christians as well. They're also Jews as well. One thing you got to realize, that is a good thing, but you can still be a Christian and be a Hindu at the same time. You can be a Jew and be a Hindu at the same time. You can be a Muslim and be a Hindu at the same time. You could be a Jehovah's Witness and be a Hindu at the same time. You could even be an atheist and be a Hindu at the same time. You may even be a clan member and be a Hindu at the same time. Like, once again, I'm the brown imperial wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. I am just kidding, I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. But one thing you got to realize is, as long as you practice humanity, you are a Hindu. By practicing Raj Yoga and Vedanta, one can live a better life, if and only if they practice humanity and a clean diet. That is the main thing. A diet rich in, vegetables, fruits, vegetables, iron, protein. There's so many proteins in the beans we eat, in the legumes we eat. Many of the cereals and the grains we eat are fortified with protein. Many of the cheeses, many of the legumes, the pastas that we eat are filled with protein, not to mention nuts and grains and other nutritious foods. So please, if possible, try to live a vegetarian life, a non-violent life. And may God bless you. May God keep you. May God always shelter you. And always be in the mercy of God. When you practice any of the yoga systems or study any of the scriptures, please do it diligently and with a pure heart. And may God bless you. I'd like to end my blog here. And please subscribe. Read the description box below. There's my email address, supremelordkrishna@yahoo.com. Or please comment, ask questions, make comments, suggestions, and please, do not ask anything that's controversial, like, abortion or affirmative action, or anything that has to do with the death penalty or same-sex marriage, or what do you think about, legalizing marijuana, or what are your thoughts on capital punishment, What are your thoughts on, anything that is controversial? Please limit your questions to only, Hinduism, yoga, meditation, how to be a better person, or anything. If you have any questions about the scriptures, anything of that nature. And may God bless you. Jai Bhagwan. Om Astoma Satagame Tamsoma Jyotirgame Mrityurma Amritgame Iti Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May God bless you in all areas of your life.